Every day is a great day on a bike, and spring is especially awesome, but I want to share a lesson I learned the hard way. Last year, I was flying down Crescent Boulevard in El Boya, feeling great, until I hit some loose gravel and used my face to stop. I ended up in the hospital with stitches and a scar I still have today. Thank you to the angel who found me on the street, and EMS, and the fine folks at the Foothills Hospital. Thankfully, I've fully recovered, and yes, I'm back riding again. But here's what I learned. Gravel is not your friend on a bike, especially on corners and hills. I knew that, but I wasn't familiar with that particular hill and the curve. I also learned that my helmet wasn't fitted properly, and that matters. A helmet should be snug enough so that it doesn't move around when you shake your head. As more of us older adults get out biking and riding e-bikes this spring, I wanted to share this reminder. Make sure your helmet fits just right, and don't assume roads and pathways are completely cleared yet. I still love biking, and I still love the freedom I feel when I ride. I just ride a bit smarter now, and for stopping, I've learned to use my brakes instead of my face.
Oh, so gravel on roads, like anything else, you got to take it slow. You have to ride ahead of yourself. So I see this all the time in the bike path. There's so many people looking down. So your brain has to be way in front of you. You have to be thinking about and looking around your awareness, not just the other people on the bike path, but what's on the road, especially if you're not on the bike path. The city does really well maintaining our bicycle paths year round. The streets not so much. So if you're on a bike or on a high volume bus route, you're going to have a little bit of gravel. Slow down. And I mean slow down. I'm a big fan in the initial parts of the year scootering, where I have 1 foot on the pedal and maybe 1 foot on the ground, especially at intersections where there's a lot of it. I also ride in the wintertime. I ride fat tire bikes. So one of the things I like is the lower air pressures. So you have more traction. They grip better than, say, maybe a lot of people run their tires between 40 and 50 or 30 and 50 psi in the summertime, which makes them very hard, makes them very easy for pedaling, but might not be as grippy, especially when you're dealing with particles or obstructions onto the road. Lower pressure gives you more grip because now there's more surface area onto the road. Fat tire bikers, mountain bikers, we discovered that a bazillion years ago. Before the advent of suspension, we would run our tires 25, 30 psi, so they were squishy. In the BMX world, sort of the same thing. The squishier the tires, the more contact you have on the pavement, and that's clean pavement. That's one of my big go-tos is playing with my tire pressure. Not a lot of people are comfortable or experienced with that, but your local shop can sort of talk you through it. Big thing with gravel is slow down and awareness. Yeah. And really, this time of the year, I'm on a bicycle. So if I see gravel on the road, I'll ride on the grass.
Yeah. Lot softer fall.
I can usually see a bad intersection and I can scooch up on a meridian or onto the grass. And that isn't sort of the way you're supposed to do it, but it's a bicycle. We can do those things.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things about being on a bicycle. Any different conditions that you've ridden as an acoustic or an analog bike? Big consideration is the amount of power that comes into the drive wheel, especially with a rear motor mounted or a rear motor mounting on the bicycle. All of your push is on the rear end. So maybe if you were riding snow or you're riding gravel with an acoustic bike, you would ease up a little bit and lower gears to sort of ease into the feel of the traction and maybe more body language. Now with the e-bike, you really have to consider, do I use the throttle or do I use the pedal assist? Maybe I'll actually pedal it without any motor for right now and sort of get the feel of it, and then I can add whatever assist or whatever I'm going to use. And you can do that with an e-bike. You don't have to stop and change settings. It's just all right in front of you. You can change things on with a switch. Right? And a really easy switch, just super small, super thin, big LED screens where you can see what situation, where you're at. Almost everybody through this shop and through a lot of shops, they're selling a more of a commuter style bicycle that everybody is going to use predominantly in the summertime. So the traction or the grip structure of the tires isn't as aggressive as, say, a mountain biker would. And there are definitely mountain or electric mountain bikes and electric mountain bike shops that sell that kind of bicycle, and they're extremely aggressive. The more traction you need, then you have to change up your tires. The less traction you need and the more speed you need, the less knobby of the tire as well. And sometimes a aggressive knobby tire, a lot of people don't like the sound of them. They roar or they're kind of annoying. And when you're kind of just chilling along, vibing along and like carving through the neighborhood, you don't want the roar of a big knobby tire. For riding on gravel in the springtime, is consideration of tires. A lot of summer tires are very smooth. Having a little, changing your tires, more of a knobby tire has more traction. In the serious bicycling people's world, it's not uncommon that on a weekly basis you're changing your tires back and forth year and round, just because different road conditions, different weather conditions. I'm originally an Edmontonian, don't hold that against me, but in Edmonton, when I used to bicycle year round, I would be watching the weather and I would be changing from knobby tires for snowfall to extreme studded tires for the beauty of Edmonton streets when it's just all ice. And I mean, Edmonton gets ice streets. Here we get black ice, and so then you need a third set of tires which have grips plus studs, so you can drive on because studs or cleats don't work well on bare ground. You want traction, but then rubber knobbies don't do well on ice. So then you want studs built into you. I know it's a never-ending thing. And there's nothing wrong with super thin tires. Everybody loves them. Yeah. I'm definitely a fan of big fat tires now. Yeah.